Don't be alarmed, you have come to the right video. I am just unusually pre-prepared. Today we're gonna do something really, really special. I got this idea last week, late last week actually, because I have an obsession. And this is a threefold obsession. And that is Disney princesses, high fashion, and getting mad at choices people have made. To the point where I want to create my own. And it's at this point that I realize that maybe I am powered by spite. So what those three things have in common is that I am obsessed with the high fashion Disney designer dolls. I think some of them are absolutely gorgeous, where some of them are very questionable. And one in particular was this year's Pocahontas doll, who I question how many people the design of that had to go through to get approved. But I'm not the designer. I don't go through the designer process. But that sparked in my head a massive project, or a massive undertaking, to design my own Disney princess designers. And I'm gonna do these in chronological order. I'm gonna try to do one a week. There's a lot of them, so this may not be a continuous thing. I might take a week off or so to do something else, just to break it up a bit. So yeah, I'm going to be yeah, that's why I brought out the big boy, the 100-something pages one. So let's get started. Let's see. I've got stuff. Oh, I've already used this for things, haven't I? Yes, I have. Oh, hey! I have a tester sheet. Nice. So what I haven't decided yet, these are 9 by 12. I think I want to keep these at 8 by 10 because that's kind of my go-to size. I just don't know if that's going to be the size that I want. I don't know, because I don't want to go full 9/12, but because 9 usually means, oh hey, that's actually a little bit bigger than 9. That's nice. Does that mean, oh, you know what? I've never had a sketchbook that says it's 9 by 12 on the cover and actually be larger. Because usually when you get a sketchbook and it says 9 by 12, it'll mean like it's 9 from here to here, so this space isn't usable. But this one actually has a perforated edge right before the spirals, and it's about like 1/8 of an inch wider than 9 inches, which is incredible to me. And then you turn it this way and it's like it's almost the length of the entire ruler. Yeah, it looks like a 12 1/4 actually. Let's just use the whole page. Why not? Now, all right, so since we're going to be going in chronological order with these princesses, I'm going to be doing the official list of princesses, and then I'm going to be doing non-princesses, honorary princesses, things like that. I might not go too in-depth with these. I'm still deciding like exactly what I want, because what might happen is that I do this base one, and then I do another one that maybe has like the accessories, like detailed accessories. I'm not sure. Those definitely will not, the accessories I'm not too focused on right now. I'm just as focused on the dress itself, because I feel like that's the most important part. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna start with the very first princess. Well, my neighbor's mow their lawn. Oh, we need to mow our lawn. One thing that I really want to start working on is line of action with these characters. Like, I don't want them to be stagnant. I really want them to have, like, personality. And I'm not too concerned with, like, being hyper accurate to the character itself, or herself. These are all going to be women. I'm more so, like, if their body type changes a little bit, that's fine, because that's not the purpose of the drawing. The purpose of the drawing is the design of the dress, so I am not concerned with hyper accuracy, even though I might do some accuracy, do some stuff with the face. So yeah, and also like on the accessories page, it'll be the back, purse, shoes, extra like earrings and necklaces and stuff. Yeah, I've already designed, like, another reason why I'm doing these as vlogs and not like big long art time lapses is because I've already designed these dresses, most of them at least. Some of them I'm waiting for feedback on, specifically the characters of color. I'm waiting for the Powhatan, I hope I said that right, the Powhatan Confederacy to get back to me about Pocahontas. I also emailed the Romani Arts Society, I think that's what they're called, and I've emailed Asian Pacific Islander organization to help with Moana and a couple of others. But yeah, no, I've spoken to a couple of Asian friends of mine about Moana and Raya. I've spoken to an Indian friend of mine about Jasmine. I've spoken to a few South American friends of mine about Mirabelle. And then of course there's Tiana. I'm still waiting for feedback on Tiana as well. So yeah, most of the outfits are completely done in my eyes, especially the ones that I was comfortable going ahead and designing without feedback from people, just because, like, hey, you know, I should be able to do these no sweat, right? Of course there's going to be one person out there, it's like, well, you're not French, so you can't possibly know what a French person today would wear as high fashion. Like, yeah, I know, but that's not the point of this. That's not the point of reaching out to people, especially from cultures that I'm actually not descended from. So this pose might be a little, you may have seen it before, because it's, I'm basing it off of Shumla's pose that she did, because Shumla did the historically accurate Disney princesses way back, and they are still circulating today, and they're still quite gorgeous, and I love all of them specifically, just immensely. And However, I'm not going for historical accuracy because I'm going for high fashion. Alright, so I'm gonna bring, I really shouldn't care too much. Like, this is potato quality printing because my printer has decided that it's just not going to work. I really shouldn't care about the face right now, but I want to because I am like that. There was one designer gown that they did for Snow White that was absolutely gorgeous. It was, I think they were doing like timeline, or like this is 1931, or no, it was like 1933. I'll have to look it up. But, they were, oh, Rizzy, you are disruptive. Going through like basing the outfits off of like the fashion of that year and the year that the movie was released, and they were gorgeous. Like Cinderella's was absolutely amazing, and I think mine kind of reflects that one a lot, which I might need to change it a bit, but you know, whatever. Don't ask me what I was planning with this hair. It's kind of a jumbled mess, but it's my mess. If this could actually be hair. So yeah, in doing this project, I actually got around to watching movies that I had actually never seen before. It took me forever, but I finally got around to watching Raya the Last Dragon, which, oh, what a beautiful movie. It is very Star Wars. And I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was just like the style of the time. Don't need that anymore. I'll just leave it here. So we all know who we're dealing with. And it was so funny. Because like every time that like when they went to like a different place, it would just like Helvetica the name across the screen. It's like tail, spine, heart. Just Fang. What was the 5th place? Tail. Spine was like where Tong was from, and then Con Baby was from Talon. Yeah. Tail, Talon, Spine, Heart, Fang. And oh, Con Baby is probably my favorite character of the whole movie. Just love her so much. Yeah. It's kind of a high waist. Move that down just a bit. Yeah, I finally got to watch that, and I really enjoyed it. I really did, and I hope that it gets more love in the future, like the way that Atlantis and Treasure Planet did. It is very on par with those movies where it's like just slightly darker. I do enjoy my darker darker Disney movies because I feel like the writers don't really have to hold back sometimes. Though I do agree that Raya and Namari are absolutely in love and should be in love forever. I did not rewatch Snow White for this project because I quite honestly, I liked Snow White when I was younger, but currently just the child irritates me. Really irritates me a lot. And I know that's like the consensus with a lot of people. I feel like she looks more 1930s here. Let's fan out because I gave her some cat eyes. But I don't like her voice, even though that was the fashion of the time, to have really falsetto voices, and now we're stuck with it forever, and so they have to find like a falsetto voice every single time. Oops. Okay, so there's the dress. I really enjoyed giving her this empire waist. Like, she was actually the first one I designed out of this series, and it was kind of on accident, but like when I came up with this cut, I just like fell in love with it. Now I have to figure out, I think it was, yeah. Because there's nothing I love more than drapes or draping fabric. All right, time for the liner. I did give her a bit of a widow's peak. She doesn't actually have one, but it adds interest to the face, so it's a little bit of artistic license. The dress that they created for her, that was based off of like the 1930s style, was gorgeous. Like, she had these big puffy sleeves, and they had the weird, like the cutouts of them, and they're just, it was, oh, the dress was gorgeous. And also Cinderella's was just absolutely beautiful. Like, they both look like they just walked right out of their own time. And I really liked Belle's too, and I feel like that dress may have either been inspired by the live action, or it inspired the live action dress at the end, because it does look very similar. And I don't know, I don't remember years very well of when the live action came out and when the dresses came out. So one thing about this series that I don't know what I want to do is how to color it. What I might do is color them. You know what? I'm gonna make this into a coloring page. How's that sound? Do you guys want a coloring page? And then I'll come back and color it. And if I decide that I hate the way that I colored it, we will come back and redo it. She's gorgeous. You may be wondering, what's the point of me drawing in her legs? But the trick is, if you want the dress to look like it's actually being worn and it's sitting more realistically, I find it helpful to draw the entire body underneath the clothes so that I know where to put creases, where to put folds, and things like that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go scan this for y'all. What's the matter, Rizzies? Did I leave the rooms? Did I leave the rooms too long for Rizzies? Okay. Alright, so the thing is, I don't think this paper holds up to watercolor very well, or at least it doesn't feel like it does. I don't know. Is this mixed media? Yeah. It says it's mixed media, but who really knows? But these are the colors we're working with. And let's just play with the ahoo-hoos for a moment. Because I don't want them to be too primary. But at the same time, she was very primary. Let's just swatch these, see how they all look together. That is not a pastel yellow, but we'll go with it. Pastel yellow. Looks good. What is super important is this apple, which I did not make a good circle out of, but whatever. I don't know why I like doing tiny details first. I just do. Alright, we're done. She's beautiful. If only that was it. So when I'm shading stuff, I like starting with the lighter color first, especially if it's like with marker, because you can darken something up, but you can't necessarily lighten it up. You can do that more with you can do that more with paint and stuff, but you can't necessarily do it with marker. And sometimes, like, if you know what you're doing with colored pencil, you can do it, but for the most part, no. However, with me, marker still isn't like super second nature to me the way coloring pencils are. And with watercolor, I'm still learning how to shade on watercolor. So, you know, it's just yeah. I have a plan for that, so don't worry. Yeah, I do want this to be a little bit darker. I just really do want to accentuate those highlights, which means going back and forth between the two and really blending them out. And I have found with some colors of alcohol marker, it's possible to lighten stuff up with a lighter marker, but it's not like guaranteed, and sometimes you wind up ruining the wrong marker. I'll go back with this. It's easier to blend with the chisel nib. To me it is. And go back with this. Bring in that chisel nib. I guess maybe because it's like more saturated, the chisel nib is, and that's why it's easier to get those out. Oh, that's gorgeous. I am loving my decision. All right. One thing about doing all the research for this is I have finally found the name for this type of post, or like this, I don't know what to call it. It's like, the name of it is Polyvore because that was the name of the website that would make these, and it basically lets you create an outfit out of like actual materials. Like, it lets you choose tops from different brands, like tops, pants, bottoms, like whatever, and you create an outfit that way. And I've always wanted to do that because I've always wanted to build a closet specifically designed so that I could like Disney bound every day or like cosplay every day kind of thing. And I never knew that type of post was called a polyvore. And I'm glad I know now, because now I can just look up polyvores for certain outfits and stuff, like, oh, I don't have any ideas for blah blah blah. But it was also a plan of mine to start creating my own wardrobe. And like, because I also sew on top of doing art and fashion design, apparently. So it's like, it's always been my plan to create my own outfits based on the Disney princesses. And some of you who have probably read my bio are just like, but why are you so obsessed with the Disney princesses when you're non-binary? It's like, because gender is a concept that doesn't have any true meaning. So, you know, I've always been obsessed with the Disney princesses. I've always been obsessed with the Disney princess. So one day, eventually, if I don't get tired of this, we will see me doing these for the Disney princes and the villains and other franchises like Avatar. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, so I'm very much so like, I love designing outfits like this, and I love designing closet cosplays and stuff like that. And I do have a reason for what I'm doing, so calm down. So, but yeah, I'm of the mind that clothes do not define your gender. and I'm fairly certain that anyone who wants to wear this, regardless of their gender, can wear it. I mean, for some people, it might give them body dysmorphia, which I completely understand, so don't do that if it causes you trauma. But some people would put this on and be like, oh man, I feel like a god. And that's the point of clothing to me, is clothing is meant to make you feel good, regardless of what it looks like, and regardless of what society deems to be men or women's or boys or girls. So I don't subscribe to that ideology, I guess. I would love to see some people who are, I guess the correct term is assigned male at birth. Like, they don't necessarily have to be trans or non-binary. They can be cisgendered men. But I'm sure there are some cisgendered men out there who would love to wear something like this. And I would gladly make it for them. With the caveat that they buy the materials, because this is expensive. I just realized that I just left the skirt as is. Oops, I'll get to it. I do like that I don't have to do shell shading. Shell shading. Yeah, it's gonna be shell shading for the rest of my life. I don't have to do that because I'm not. It's not that I don't like cell shading, because it can be done really well. It's that I'm not good at it, and I don't like doing it myself for my own work. I like having I like my fuzzy edges when I'm shading. Let's get some of this in here. Not a whole lot, just enough. Smooth that out with this one. And lighten it all up. Light it up. And for anybody who's just like, what's it connected to? She's wearing a ring on her middle finger that is connected to the drape. And the reason I'm not using the chisel tip right now is because I'm just trying to get, if I do too much chisel tip, I'm gonna blur it. So I love my dad. I know, great segue. But he does this thing that I've told him not to do before. But he keeps doing it because he's old. And that thing is he will text me first thing in the morning. Like very, very first thing. And for me, his first thing in the morning is like 5 a.m. for me. So 7 o'clock for him. Because he's back in Texas. And he will text me first thing in the morning and be like, call me when you wake up. The thing with that is that he is my 94-year-old grandmother's caretaker. And my grandmother has been in a nursing home for the better part of the whole pandemic, really, because she's trying to recover from hip surgery. However, it's just not going well because she's 94 years old, and when you break something, it's not going to get fixed. And the problem is that every single time he texts me the first thing in the morning, hey, call me when you wake up, is that my brain immediately goes to, oh no, Mama died. And this morning I woke up at about 6:30, which is way earlier than I normally wake up, and I saw that I had a text on my phone. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Nobody messages me this early. So I check the text, and it's my father, and he say, hey, call me when you wake up. Now, I just paid all of my bills, like for the next month, so I don't have to like worry about it, you know? And this man had the audacity to message me before time started for the day and be like, hey, text me when you get up. Didn't tell me why, didn't tell me like what's going on. So my immediate thought was Mama passed away. And so for the entire morning, I'm freaking out because it's like I have no money whatsoever. Who am I going to stay with? Because I'm not staying in that house with certain family members around. And also, this would be the first time in like 2 years that I'm going back to Texas. So I would have to spend more time like going around making sure that I've said hi to everybody, like the people that I love, that I've chosen as my family, giving the presents that I keep forgetting to send off, you know, things like that. So I'm making arrangements in my head, going like, okay, this is what I'm going to do when I'm back in Texas. And after I have like finalized everything except for like where the money for this trip is going to come from, I call my dad. And he's like, oh, hey, kiddo, I had a question for you. I'm like, okay. And he's like, okay, so Mama's not dead? And by this time, I'm mad. And he's like, yeah, the question was, what is the formula for art pouring? For paint pouring? And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, what's the formula for paint pouring? And I'm just like, Father, do you know the kind of panic I have been in all morning? Just so that you could ask me a question about art pouring? I promptly told him, like, hey, if you're gonna send me a text like that, you need to tell me what the text is about. And, but yes, that was my morning. A very panicked morning of, I have to fly back to Texas with no money So I can't like rent a car so that I can drive all over Texas and make sure that I'm not leaving any of my chosen family out when I do come back to Texas, because like the whole point of me going back to Texas eventually is so that I can be with my chosen family and see them and convince them to move to Oregon with me. And Father, my oh so wonderful Father, decided to exasperate that desire and need to be. So it's like, not only am I mad that I was in a panic this morning because I was trying to figure out how I was going to get back to Texas to go to my grandmother's funeral. That's not happening. I was mad because there are people in my chosen family who I haven't even met in person yet. And I'm just, and it's like, I was getting excited to finally meet them, and just, ooh, that's way too dark for her skin, but you know, yeah, that was my morning. How was your morning? All right, time for skin tone. Yeah, I sent my dad a website. I get, you know what, I think I figured it out. I think the reason he texts me without giving me an idea of what they want is because I would just look it up on Google and send him the link instead of actually talking to him. And he wants me to actually speak to him because he wants to hear my voice. Because he is 70 years old and misses me, and I miss him too. It's just, I'm basically Google to my father. And he would rather talk to me. Should probably be using the smaller nib. It's too late now. I really love how her face came out. It just looks so good. Give her a little bit of that pink blush. Oh, with her hair, it just makes her look like grandma. Grandma White. I'm not very good at makeup. Like, I don't wear it myself, and I don't really know how to apply it to other people. That should be nice. That should be enough. Yeah. And blend. Look at this beautiful woman. Let's see. too. It's almost Grecian. But I like it. All right, so that's the first of our designer Disney princesses. What do you think? So yeah, we are going in chronological order. So next week we're going to be doing Cinderella. And you will see my design. And even though I wasn't looking at the design of my favorite designer gown that they've done for her, I have a feeling that it is very much so inspired by that. So I'm hoping that if I can change up the colors a bit, it won't be super reminiscent of that. Let's go ahead and voila! Alright. Alright, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.